In 1814, London had a beer problem. Not the usual kind of problem. This one involved nearly 400,000 gallons of it bursting free in a single tidal wave. And yes, people actually drowned in beer. The disaster started at the Mew and Company Brewery on Tottenham Court Road. Inside, huge wooden vats, each holding thousands of gallons of porter, were strapped together like barrels in a giant cellar. On October 17th, one of the iron hoops snapped. The pressure burst a vat wide open, and the force toppled the others around it like dominoes. The result? A beer tsunami surging through the streets of London. Picture it. A 15-foot-high wave of frothy porter exploding through brick walls, smashing houses and flooding cellars. In a neighborhood of crowded slums, families had no chance. At least 8 people were killed, most of them in their own homes, swept away by what must have been the strangest obituary cause ever written. And the smell. Reports say the streets reeked of beer for days. Crowds gathered with mugs and pots, trying to scoop it up before it drained away. It was equal parts tragedy, spectacle, and free happy hour. Of course, lawyers got involved. The brewery argued the flood was an act of God, and somehow, they won. No one paid damages, the company got a tax break, and they rebuilt the vats as if drowning your neighbours in ale was just an unfortunate paperwork hiccup. But for Londoners, the memory stuck. The beer flood became legend, one of those stories so absurd it sounds like a tavern joke, except it really happened. A whole neighborhood was wrecked, families were ruined, and the city learned a valuable lesson. Storing oceans of beer in giant wooden barrels is a bad idea. And yet, even now, the London beer flood gets retold with a grin, because it's a tale where tragedy and comedy crash together like a pint glass hitting the floor. A tidal wave of porter, a courtroom farce, and a city that reeked of alcohol long after the flood was gone. And that's why.